political science professor James Long joins us live in studio to go over these results and what comes next. Thanks so much for being here, James.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, let's just jump right into it. Trump is the clear front runner, and DeSantis and Haley are neck and neck for the second spot. Do either of them realistically stand a chance to even make it in the margin against Trump?
It's hard to know. I mean, it's hard to know whether the result last night from Iowa will really solidify Trump's lock on the nomination. He is the front runner. He's doing very well in states coming up in primaries. I think the real question is whether or not Haley has a path forward. It seems like she is pulling ahead and surging in New Hampshire. That would then be followed by Nevada and then South Carolina, her home state.
Right.
So you could imagine if she gets momentum, her winning in New Hampshire and South Carolina, and that could cause Republican voters to now really take a second look at Trump. But right now, he definitely is the front runner for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody's kind of leaning toward and knows that that's going to happen. Vivek Ramaswamy announced he's dropping out of the race right now. Who do we expect those voters to go back to?
Well, Ramaswamy also endorsed Donald Trump last night. So when Chris Christie dropped out of the race last week, he did not endorse anyone, but Ramaswamy endorsed Donald Trump. And I think, at least with respect to how Trump was trying to have this unity message last night, it seems that he believes that Ramaswamy voters would probably come over to his side. I also think he probably thinks DeSantis voters would come over to his side over Haley if DeSantis were to drop out. But there's no sign that that would happen yet.
Okay, well, next on the primary calendar is New Hampshire, with voters casting ballots a week from today. So what are we expecting, and how candidates appealing to voters there? What do you think the outcome will be?
Well, famously, Trump won New Hampshire in 2016 after losing in Iowa to Ted Cruz. And so I think for a lot of reasons, Trump feels like New Hampshire should be one of the places where he's strong. But Haley has really pulled ahead in New Hampshire. And so I think it's really going to be a neck-and-neck race between Haley and Trump. Whether or not New Hampshire voters will look at Haley's third-place finish as sort of a liability and see Trump as a fait accompli, I'm not sure. It's a long week between Iowa and New Hampshire, so I think we have to wait and see. But I think it'll definitely be Haley versus Trump.
Okay, and I heard an interview with Haley, too, early on my ride-in this morning, her saying, I just don't know if I could get behind Donald Trump. Does that mean she's swinging the other side if she's not in the mix?
I'm not sure. You know, I think there was talk of her potentially running for vice president, and she was hoping that Trump would pick her. I don't think he would pick her. It does seem that the more she campaigns and gets comfortable in what her campaign narrative is, which is that, yes, she voted for Donald Trump twice, she served in his administration, but really she wants to turn the page on that era of politics and sort of bring in a new generation of Republican leaders. I think that message is now, it's working for her, but it's hard to come back from that. So I think it's going to be a real fight between those two in New Hampshire.
All right, still a lot up in the air, especially with Donald Trump getting some votes to see if he's going to be knocked off the ballot in our state. We will definitely wait and see, and probably talk to you again. So, political science professor James Long, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you.